Today we're tackling something huge, weight management. It's this strange paradox, isn't it?
It really is.
You look at the numbers, nearly 3/4 of Americans are overweight or obese. But then you see over 160 million people actively dieting, spending, over $70 billion a year on trying to lose weight?
A staggering amount.
Right.
We're clearly putting in effort, putting in money.
Exactly. But the problem isn't going away, so you have to ask, what are we missing here? So our mission today in this deep dive is really to cut through all that noise, the quick fixes, the fads, all the contradictory stuff out there.
There's so much noise.
And instead, we want to unpack what insights from Harvard Health tell us about achieving, sustainable, healthy weight loss and just better well-being overall.
Right.
It's not just about a number on the scale. It's about finding what actually works for you, for your life.
And that's spot on with the core idea we found in the research. Losing weight, totally possible. But, and this is the big but, when done right.
Okay. Done right. What does that mean?
Well, the sources really highlight two key things that often get missed. First, the approach you take, it has to make you feel good. It needs to be motivating, not miserable.
That makes sense. If you hate it, you won't stick with it.
Precisely. And second, this one's crucial. You have to take your time. It's about slow, steady progress. That's what leads to sustainable results.
Okay, slow and steady. That brings us right to the big question everyone asks first, right? What's the best diet for weight loss?
The million-dollar question.
Yeah. But the sources we looked at, they sort of push back on that question itself. They suggest it often implies this idea of just going into some extreme restrictive mode for a bit.
Right, like a temporary fix.
Exactly. I'll suffer through this, lose the weight, then boom, back to normal. Why is that thinking, why is it often setting people up for failure?
Because that quick fix approach, it's just not how lasting change happens. The real mindset shift, the one Harvard points to, is this. People who lose weight and keep it off, they make a permanent change.
Okay. Not temporary.
Not temporary at all. It becomes their new way of eating. And when Harvard talks about a healthy diet, it's pretty clear what they mean. It's about favoring natural, unprocessed foods, ditching the prepackaged stuff mostly.
Makes sense.
It needs to be balanced, obviously, giving you all the essential nutrients, lots of plant-based foods, fruits, vegetables, good amount of protein, and importantly, low in added sugar and salt. Plus, embracing those healthy fats.
Healthy fats like
you find in fish, olive oil, nuts, other plant oils. Really important.
Okay, so let's make that real for people. Paint a picture. What does that look like on a plate day to day?
Sure. So breakfast, maybe it's something like bran flakes, throw in some sliced strawberries, some walnuts, maybe some non-fat milk. Simple, satisfying.
Okay.
Lunch. How about a turkey sandwich, but on whole wheat bread? Load up with veggies. Use an olive oil and vinegar dressing instead of something creamy.
Nice. And dinner.
Maybe a nice salmon steak served over a bed of spinach. Delicious, and ticks all the boxes.
See, that sounds genuinely enjoyable, not like deprivation.
Exactly. And snacks aren't forbidden either. That's a big misconception.
Oh, good point. So what kind of snacks fit in?
Healthy ones, of course. Think like a small handful of almonds or pistachios. Maybe some string cheese with an apple. Greek yogurt's great. Or even a banana with a bit of peanut butter.
Smart choices, not zero choices.
Precisely. It's about smart choices.
Which circles back to that fundamental point you made. The best diet is the one you'll actually stick with.
Absolutely. 100%.
So Harvard Health actually suggests, before you even start, do a little brainstorming. What healthy foods do you genuinely like?
Yes. Such a simple but critical step.
Because if you buy a cartload of kale and you secretly hate kale,
It's just going to wilt in the fridge, right?
Exactly. It has to be enjoyable or at least tolerable for the long haul.
That sustainability factor again.
Okay, so the best diet is personal. But what if we look bigger picture? At populations around the world known for their health and longevity, are there common threads in how they eat?
That's a fascinating angle. And yes, when you look at these different healthy eating styles globally, some really clear patterns emerge.
What kind of patterns?
Well, whether they were designed by experts or just observed in certain cultures, they consistently lean towards being plant-based.
Okay.
They emphasize healthy fats. They have basically no simple sugars, very low sodium. And they really favor natural whole foods over, the highly processed stuff common in many Western diets.
Can you give us some specific examples?
Definitely. Let's start with probably the most famous one, the Mediterranean diet.
Right. Heard a lot about that one.
Yeah, it comes from the regions around the Mediterranean Sea, obviously. It's heavy on fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, whole grains, all minimally processed. Then moderate amounts of things like yogurt, cheese, poultry, and fish.
And fat source.
Olive oil is the store there. Red meat and added sugars, they're eaten, but only occasionally, sparingly. And the benefits go way beyond weight loss, lower risk of heart disease, diabetes, even depression, and some cancers. It's a powerhouse.
Wow. Okay, what else?
Then there's the DIASH diet. Stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension.
Ah, so focused on blood pressure.
Exactly. It was specifically designed for heart health. Shows how food can really be like medicine. It's low in cholesterol and saturated fats, but high in nutrients like magnesium, calcium, fiber, potassium. Very little red meat or sugar here, too.
And the foods, similar to Mediterranean.
Very similar, actually. Lots of whole grains, vegetables, fruits, fish, poultry, nuts, olive oil. You see the overlap.
Yeah, definitely seeing a theme emerge.
And building on those is the MIND diet. That's M-I-N-D. It stands for Mediterranean DIASH Diet Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay.
Okay, so brain health.
Precisely. Designed to help prevent dementia and cognitive decline. It pulls elements from both Mediterranean and DIASH that seem particularly good for the brain. It's similar, but puts an even stronger emphasis on leafy green vegetables and berries. A bit less emphasis maybe on fruit and dairy compared to the others.
Interesting how specific it can get for different health goals.
It really is. And one more gaining traction is the Nordic diet.
Based on Scandinavian eating.
Yep. Think fish, local fruits like apples and pears, those cold climate veggies, cabbage, carrots, cauliflower, and whole grains common there, like rye and oats. Studies are starting to support it for preventing stroke and for weight loss, too.
So it really shows healthy eating isn't just one specific region's thing.
Not at all. Different cultures, similar principles.
So if we boil all that down, what's the key takeaway for someone listening?
The big picture is pretty clear. Even though the specifics differ slightly, these healthy styles all share core features. They're heart healthy, they rely on natural, unprocessed foods, and they're packed with plant-based dishes.
Makes sense.
So borrowing elements from any of these approaches, that's a really smart way to think about weight loss and just long-term health.
Okay, that provides a really solid foundation for healthy eating. But let's be real, those aren't always the diets making the biggest splash, are they?
No, the trendier ones often get more headlines.
Exactly. So what about things like intermittent fasting, IF, and that high-fat keto diet? How do they stack up? Let's start with IF. Is fasting actually healthy? Does it work?
Right. Well, fasting itself, just abstaining from food for a period, it's ancient. It's been practiced for ages for spiritual and physical reasons, and generally, when not taken to extremes, it's considered safe.
Okay.
Physically, going without food for a bit can do things like lower blood sugar, maybe reduce inflammation, improve metabolism, even help clear out old damaged cells.
So potential benefits there. How does IF structure that?
Intermittent fasting basically divides your time into set eating windows and periods where you abstain. So a common example might be you only eat between, say, 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. That's an 8-hour window. The other 16 hours, you fast.
But it's not always that specific schedule.
No, there's no single rule.
Yeah.
People do different patterns, like 5.2, where you would normally 5 days and restrict calories heavily 2 days. The key is the regular cycling.
And the science behind why it might work for weight loss.
The main idea is that when you're not eating, your insulin levels drop significantly. That drop signals your body to start burning stored fat for energy instead of relying on the sugar from your last meal.
Ah, okay. Fat burning mode.
Exactly. There's also a theory that it might slightly slow metabolism, which could reduce appetite and just lead to eating fewer calories overall. And yes, studies do show IF can lead to weight loss.
Okay, so IF sounds like it has some science behind it. But I remember seeing some important caveats in the sources we looked at. What are the nuances people need to know?
That's a really crucial point.
Yeah.
Because while it can work, it's not definitively clear that IF is actually better for weight loss than just good old-fashioned calorie restriction within a normal eating schedule.
Oh, interesting. So it might not be uniquely magical.
Possibly not. Some researchers think that success people see might simply be because they stop eating late at night.
How does that help?
Well, eating late often goes against our natural circadian rhythms, our body clocks. Stopping earlier might align better and reduce fat storage. But the other big thing with IF is it can be really tough to stick to.
Yeah, the sustainability factor again.
Yeah. Think about social events, work
Yeah.
schedules, family dinners. If everyone else is eating and you're in your fasting window, that takes serious willpower.
It sounds quite demanding, lifestyle-wise.
It can be. Which brings us right back to that mantra. The best plan is the one you can actually maintain long term.
Right.
And one more really vital point. Certain people absolutely need to talk to their doctor before trying IF, especially anyone with diabetes or heart disease. It's not for everyone.
Good safety warning. Is there an alternative if ASAF seems too intense?
Definitely.
Hmm.
A sensible approach could just be adopting something like that low-calorie Mediterranean style we talked about and making a conscious effort to finish eating earlier in the day, maybe late afternoon. You get some potential circadian benefits without the strict fasting schedule.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, let's switch gears to the one that always sounds, well, counterintuitive, the high-fat or keto diet. Eating more fat to lose weight. How does that work?
Yeah, it does sound backwards, doesn't it? But the theory behind keto is quite specific. It involves a really dramatic shift in where your calories come from.
How dramatic.
We're talking like 75% to 90% of your daily calories from fat. Protein is kept moderate, maybe 10–20%, and carbohydrates are slashed way down, only about 5%.
Wow, only 5% carbs. That's tiny.
Extremely low. And the idea is, by starving your body of carbs, its usual go-to fuel, and flooding it with fat, you force it into a metabolic state called ketosis.
Ketosis.
Yeah, where your body basically has no choice but to start burning fat, both the fat you eat and your stored body fat for energy, producing things called ketones.
So it turns you into a fat-burning machine, theoretically?
That's the theory. And research does show keto can be effective, especially for jump-starting weight loss pretty quickly. It can also improve blood sugar control, which is significant.
I sense a but coming.
Definitely a but. The biggest one is sustainability. Keto is notoriously difficult to stick to long-term. It's very restrictive. Think about cutting out bread, pasta, fruit, starchy vegetables. It requires huge changes.
Social life must be tricky, too.
Extremely. And the other major but is we just don't have a lot of good long-term studies showing it's a sustainable way to keep weight off over many years. Short-term results, yes. Long-term maintenance, the jury's still out.
Okay, so potentially effective for a quick start, but maybe not the lifelong solution for most people.
That seems to be the consensus, yes. The adherence is a major hurdle.
Right. So with all these different diets and approaches swirling around Mediterranean, DISH, IF, keto, it can feel overwhelming. Is there a simpler, maybe more visual way to think about building healthy meals day to day?
Absolutely. And that's where this really practical tool from Harvard Health Publishing comes in handy. It's called the Healthy Eating Plate.
The healthy eating plate. Okay, tell us about it.
It's designed as a simple visual model. So imagine your dinner plate. Draw a line right down the middle, dividing it in half.
Okay, got it. 2 halves.
Right. Now, one of those halves you divide again. So you have 2 quarters on one side. Fill 1 quarter with whole grains. And emphasis on whole brown rice, quinoa, whole wheat bread, oats. Not white bread or white rice.
Got it. Whole grains in 1 quarter. What about the other quarter on that side?
That's for healthy protein. Think fish, chicken, beans, nuts. Harvard specifically notes not red meat or processed meats like bacon or deli meats in this section regularly.
Okay, so half the plate is whole grains and healthy protein. What about the other big half?
That other half is all about plants. Fill about 2/3 of that half with vegetables, lots of variety, lots of color, and importantly, potatoes and French fries don't count as vegetables here.
Good clarification. And the last little bit.
That remaining 1/3 of the plant half is for fruit. Again, aim for variety in colors.
So visually, half the plate is veggies and fruit, mostly veggies. The other half is whole grains and healthy protein.
Exactly. It's a really clear guide.
What about drinks and fats?
Good question. Next to the plate, imagine a glass of water. That's the best choice. Coffee or tea with little or no sugar are okay too. Limit milk and dairy to 1 or 2 servings a day. And importantly, use healthy oils like olive or canola oil for cooking, on salads, or at the table instead of butter.
That visual is incredibly helpful. Just picture that plate when you're making choices.
That's the idea.
So you can literally use this model when you're planning meals, when you're grocery shopping, or just thinking about your strategy for losing weight or maintaining it.
Absolutely. Following these guidelines, focusing on that plate balance, really optimizes your chances for good health and managing your weight without getting bogged down and counting every single calorie.
It feels much more intuitive.
It's designed to be.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, if we had to distill the main message, what would it be?
I think the central point really is that lasting healthy weight loss isn't about those temporary fad diets or extreme measures.
Right, not the quick fixes.
No. It's fundamentally about making permanent shifts in your eating habits. Shifts that are enjoyable, that you can stick with, and that truly support your long-term health and well-being. That phrase keeps coming back. The best diet really is the one you'll stick to.
That seems to be the thread tying everything together.
It is. You see it in the common ground between all those healthy global eating patterns we discussed. You see the flip side in the challenges people face sticking to really restrictive diets like IF or keto. And you see a practical path forward with that simple, healthy eating plate model. It all points towards sustainability and enjoyment.
Absolutely. Okay, so here's a final thought to leave everyone with, something to maybe chew on.
Mhm.
Beyond just aiming to lose weight, what if we thought about how embracing these principles, natural foods, healthy fats, lots of plants, could actually change our fundamental relationship with food and with our bodies?
Ah, that's a powerful reframing.
Yeah, maybe it leads to a kind of health and vitality that's much deeper, much richer than just seeing a certain number on the scale. Something more about truly nourishing yourself for a vibrant life.